Hello everyone and welcome to this bonus episode of Gran Turismo 7 Custom Projects. Here we are doing an updated GT1 road car build. Now that we finally have the TS20 in game, we can make a far more accurate build for the GT1 road car that looks, sounds and performs a lot closer to the real world car. I debated as to whether I should include this car in the future set 4 or just make a bonus separate video. Ultimately, I decided to make a separate video because I plan to have another homologation road car build in set 4, and I like to have variety in my sets of cars. Also, I didn't want to take up another slot for a car that I technically already built. For the livery which you're seeing here, I actually made this one, and I have left a link to it in the description, but of course loads of players have likely made this livery, so you'll have loads of choices for this one. So with that intro out of the way, let's head to the tuning shop and fit our custom parts to this car. So, like before, the car used to make this build is a race car, so it has some parts permanently fitted that may be a bit over the top for a road car, but there isn't much we can do about that unfortunately. However, the GT1 road car is possibly the most absurd road car ever built, essentially being a road legal Le Mans prototype, so maybe it's not as crazy as you may think at first. So, onto the parts that we have fitted. In the sports section, you'll want either sports hard or sports soft tyres. I've got sports soft fitted in the video, but you could use sports hards if you wanted to. Soft tyres because it's more of a crazy road car, so I thought better grip tyres would make more sense, but it's up to you on that one. For the club sports section, we have nothing fitted. In semi-racing section, the fully customizable ECU is fitted by default, as is the fully customizable LSD. You will want the fully customizable manual transmission, however. And then in the racing, extreme, and ultimate sections, there is nothing fitted. So, with all those parts fitted, we can now head back to the garage for our tuning settings. But before we get into that, I just want to note that, like my previous build, the real car has 593 horsepower, but my build has 596 horsepower, which is ironically the same amount of horsepower as my first build. With that out of the way, let's get into the tuning for this car. So for the tyres, we have Sport Softs fitted. For our suspension, it is fully customizable with 49mm on the front and 74mm on the rear for body height. That may seem like a big difference, but the real car has quite a difference between front and rear body height anyway. Like the actual race car has quite a big difference. So this difference actually looks completely normal on the car. For the anti-roll, we have 4 front and rear. For the compression on the dampers, it's 33 front and rear with 44 front and rear on the expansion. For the natural frequency, we have 4.65 on the front and 4.45 on the rear. For a negative camber angle, it's 2.0 on the front and 1.0 on the rear, and the toe angle is 0 front and rear. For the differential, we have fully customizable with 10 initial torque, 40 for acceleration sensitivity, and 25 for braking sensitivity. All of those are on the rear, and the front values cannot be adjusted because the car is rear-wheel drive. For our downforce, we have it set to 550 on the front and 800 on the rear, which probably is the biggest error in my first build. I had the downforce way too high, so it's much more reasonable now. For the ECU, it's fully customizable with 78 is the power adjustment setting. For the ballast and power restrictor, none of those are touched. For the transmission, it's fully customizable manual transmission with 350 top speed auto setting. And for everything else, you can see what is and isn't fitted. One thing to note, the anti-lag is turned off on this road car. It is fitted by default on the race car. I've turned it off just because it seemed a bit overkill. But other than that, there's not much else that can be tuned on this car anyway, being a race car. So that's everything adjusted. So all that's left to do now is see how this car performs in practice. So, how does this car perform around the track? Well, honestly, it's really good. The TS20 is a great car, and building a car around it is almost guaranteed to be good. The car has fantastic handling and great performance. Putting a set of racing hard tyres on this car makes it a fantastic candidate for the Sardinia Money Grind event. I also love how Polyphony actually gave us customization options for this car to change the front grille to actually make it look like the road car, especially since I'm pretty sure there are no other race cars with customization options, so it's a really nice extra detail that they definitely didn't have to include, but I'm very glad they did. So, that's it for this build. Stay tuned for set 4, which will be coming in the future. I hope you all enjoyed this build. Let me know what you thought of it, and have a great day.